comfy couch. Break it down.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to clown around?
Clown around! What?
A dolly on
A
the
dolly?
big comfy couch.
All right, Coco, on those vocals, I see you.
Listen.
I hear you.
Listen, if it was just one of the regular pens where I chewed the top, it wouldn't be so good. But I picked up the stylus, so I was able to do a little something. You know what I mean?
Ew, you chew on your pens?
I absolutely don't do that. That's disgusting. Why would you even suggest something like that?
Oh my god, I'm learning so much
nasty.
about you.
That's so nasty. I'll show you all my pen tops right now. No teeth marks. No teeth marks. Oh, not that one. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Transparency. I don't typically chew on pen tops, but sometimes, like, if I'm like going like this, and then I'll just be like, and then I'll be like, oh dang, I'm doing something I don't do. But that happens very rarely, like 3 to 4 times a year, which I think are good odds, because that's like once every 3 months. So that's like once every 12 weeks. So that's like very infrequent. And if you look, well, no, I throw those away, except for the one that I accidentally picked up just now. Cammy, how are you? You look like you're disgusted, but how are you feeling?
Just to round out that conversation,
Yikes.
I just remember, like, in grade school when I would ask to, like, borrow a pencil, like, if I was just like, oh, like, let me, like, use it. And if I saw teeth marks, like, on a pen cap or a pencil, I'm like, thank you so much for giving me your germs. That was disgusting of you. And, like, that's what I think of every time I see teeth marks on pen caps or whatever. And then one of my bosses, he keeps, like, he has a mug where he keeps, like, pens and plastic cutlery in, and, like, sometimes he'll, like, eat yogurt. I've seen him do this. Like, lick the spoon, put the spoon in the mug.
No.
And I'm like...
And then you wake up from the nightmare because there's no way this could be real life, correct?
I wish.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
It's disgusting. I'm a person that gets disgusted by people easily. Like,
you don't say. You don't say.
Like, people's, like,
just people peopling, existing, little nuances and noises, just irky.
Oh my gosh, I don't like the sound of people chewing. I don't like the sound of people breathing. I don't like... Lately, I've noticed that, and it's like an everybody thing. I've noticed it in, I've noticed it with you. I've noticed it with people that I work with. I've noticed it on the internet. But, like, I don't know when this happened, but when did we get to, like, when did society get to this point where when we're trying to explain something, we go, blah, 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 blah. Maybe we could say, hey, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then, like, whatever we're trying to say, we always add that, like, hey, I noticed it in 4 meetings I had last week. And I'm like, when did we just start saying, hey? Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's so, like, ingrained that maybe people aren't catching it, but, like, it really hit me, like, 2 weeks ago, like, when as a society did we start doing this? Like, when did this become, like, a common thing?
You mean as a greeting or as, like, a polite interruption?
No, it's not neither of those. It's like, let me try to, so let's say you're in a meeting. And person A is trying to convey, like, some sort of new way of communication for, like, an upcoming change in the system or something. So, like, they're like, all right, so we need to just, like, let this client know, hey, this is coming up in the pipeline. Like,
Oh, I see what
yeah,
you mean. Yeah,
like
that's irky and unnecessary.
but everybody does it. Like I've noticed it a lot in my meetings, and I'm like, what is the hey necessary? Because like they're not saying to like say hey in your email or like what
Right.
however you communicate, but it's like it's always like, all right, so I'm in the middle of this thought process, and then it goes, hey, this is the message that we're going to convey,
Hmm.
and then like it just keeps rolling, and I'm like, the hey always it makes me, it's not an irky thing, it doesn't make
Uh-huh.
me, it's not like gum chewing or
Cringe.
anything like that, but
Mhm.
it's just so funny to me that like every time I hear it I just giggle now, like, like uncontrollably, because like when did this happen? Like, did this happen during the pandemic? Was this like a 2018 thing that slowly like was trying to catch on and now like it's
Mhm.
mainstream? I know this is so specific and
It's
odd,
I don't feel
but
like it's oddly specific or anything. I know I do it, but I didn't think I did it in that context. I thought I did it as a polite way of like not trying to interrupt somebody or being like, "Hey, what about ABCDFG?" So I think I'll just have to be more conscious of it because I didn't think I did it in that way.
I also do it in that way. Like that's the thing. It's become so mainstream and it like sneaked up on me that I'm like, when when did this happen? What?
Right.
So it's kind of like the new like.
I don't feel like, see, I was about to use the word. I don't feel like I use like like enough, unless I'm like overconsciously or trying to do it in a sarcastic way. So I
I
don't.
use like a lot. I overuse it and I hate it, but I do it. And you know what? That's just me, baby.
Take it or leave it. Take me as I am, or have nothing at all. Hashtag Mary J. Blige.
Oof.
Mm. Cammy,
What's up, Coco?
welcome to our pod. How are you today?
I'm exhausted.
Okay,
But
okay,
I'm
give it to us.
happy. I mean, I'm exhausted. I
Hmm.
could go for a nap, but I'm happy to be here.
Okay.
And I'm happy to talk to you. And I'm happy to like have our listeners listen to us. Have
Yes.
our watchers watch us. Like
Yes.
what? Like
What?
what?
What? What? Hey, you'll also be able to watch. I'm joking, joking, joking. Hey, what if we also let them know where else they could watch us?
Well,
Joking, joking. With the hey.
uh, I was about to say,
Yeah,
well, I mean, I thought we were gonna save it for the end, but I guess we could
yeah,
do it
yeah,
now.
yeah. No, just a immediate example.
How are you doing, Coco?
Ooh, how am I doing? I would like to be doing better. I don't
Hmm.
feel like I'm like flying in the clouds, but I also don't feel like I'm like dancing with the devil, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm also not in my normal neutral place.
Mm.
So,
Do you
um,
think you're in a new neutral or like?
hmm, I didn't think about there being pockets within neutral, but maybe there's like a not so great pocket within neutral. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Maybe there is something like that adjacent. So that's possible. If there is like a great and not so great on the neutral, I'm more so than not so great. But I feel like
Mhm.
I'm getting better. I feel like
Okay.
I'm getting better. Like last week was tough, and I thought this week would be less tough, and it hasn't been. So I'm just trying to work through that and consciously not just like lie to myself and be like, oh, it's all good. It's all good. The building's not on fire. I'm trying to be like,
Yeah,
the building's on fire and let me do what I can do to say what needs to be said.
that feels so relatable. And I'm sure there are people out there that can relate to that too. I mean, sometimes
Yeah,
you go through those valleys. Sometimes it's not all top of the mountain. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, but it's
correct.
not like I'm in the pits of hell. It's just
Correct.
like things could be better, and I'm not liking where I am, but I know
Mhm.
that things could be worse. So
Yes.
I'm just trying to show up every day
Hmm.
and do the best that I can. And sometimes my best may be someone else's like baseline. And you know
Right.
what? That's okay.
Yeah. I'm really intentional with one of my affirmations that I say 3 times a day, thrice a day. And one of the words
Mm.
I use in there is like navigate, like help me navigate. So it's that
Mm.
way I'm not saying help me be my best or help me, overcome negative. It's just like help me navigate.
Yeah.
If that means get to the finish line, if that means get as far as I can, if that means stop here and pick up tomorrow, that's great. Just help me navigate it.
Yeah. Because navigation is just like, if you really think about it, it's not when you're manifesting it or like putting it in your affirmation, it's saying
Hmm.
like, I want to get from point A to point B.
Yes.
Now, the journey of how I get from point A to point B is, it could look different and it could
Yes.
be unexpected. It could be tumultuous, but like
Mhm.
help me navigate through that. So
Yes.
that's a really good one. That's a good word.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what's up, Coco? What's up? What's
Yo, I mean, you trying to get straight into it? Like, what you trying to do? You trying to
I
butter the people up a little bit, or you want to get to the nitty gritty?
listen, peach cobblers. We're gonna get right into it because
Okay.
the Oscars were wild. Okay, here's the thing. I kept forgetting that the I don't know what it is, but I kept forgetting that the Oscars were happening, and like people would be like, "Oh, like I'm throwing an Oscars party," or "I'm doing this, and I'm gonna watch the Oscars," or "I'm watching all these movies to prepare for the Oscars." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's a thing," that I keep forgetting about.
Right.
Um, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of a highlight,
Okay.
like some of like the positive highlights.
Okay. I loved. Or do you want to go first, or do you want to?
No, you can go
Okay.
first.
Something I really love that I feel like a lot of people didn't talk about. They talked about Beyonce's performance for her
Mm,
song that was in King Richard, but I'm like, are y'all seeing this color scheme, which is like off tennis ball green, yellow? This
yeah.
is amazing. This is beautiful. How everyone's out there. Blue Ivy, her manager is out there
Blue
dancing. Like,
Ivy!
and dancing, you keep making sure you got your 1, 2, 3, and 4, got your 8 countdown pack. And then I also loved Beyonce's evening wear and her ball, that her purse
Her
that was
tennis
beautiful.
ball bag,
Yes,
yes.
like nobody's really talking about those things. And I was like, that to me, when I saw that, I was just like entranced. I was like, this is beautiful. Like aesthetically, this is so pleasing for me.
No, like that performance was beautiful. Like the gowns were beautiful. Like I was
Um,
just like, oh, gowns, beautiful gowns.
yes, yes,
No, Beyonce was just stunning.
stunning.
And it's let's talk about Beyonce right quick
Okay.
because the fact that I don't even know when was the last time she walked the red
Her
carpet?
appearance, I knew you were gonna say something like that.
When
They
did
said
she
it's been a while, and I know we haven't gotten to it yet, but they said this is why Beyonce don't come out because people don't know how to act when she come out. But we'll get to that.
It's true. It is true. Like somebody was like, what was it? The like Beyonce sat through this Oscars,
Uh huh.
Kanye West going up on
Yep.
stage, and Lil Mama going up on
Yep.
stage, and I was like, and two of those things happened in the same night.
Right.
2009 was a wild time.
What a time to be alive.
And every time I think about that MTV award ceremony and Lil Mama going up on the stage and Jay-Z being like, "What are you doing here?" She's
Right.
like, "I just felt it in my soul and my
Right.
body." And I'm
Like
like,
New York had to represent for New York, and I remember seeing the video, and he like tried to pat her like, "Shoo, shoo, get
"Go
off,
away."
go away." And I was like, I don't care how, like, for my city I'm feeling, rehearsal, money, you're not on the track, so much goes into the
Right.
performance. I don't care if you're even, and on top of that, Beyonce tried to stop her. I was like, no, 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 do it. She's like, no, I got it. She's like, no, you really don't do it. Let Beyonce put her hands on me or talk to me to stop. Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Exactly. If Beyonce's trying to tell you something, listen.
Yes, you should have listened. Jeez Louise.
No, but like that the Beyonce's performance at the Oscars was beautiful and I loved it.
Yes.
The Regina King, was that Regina King? No, that was Regina Hall.
Gina Hall.
Regina Hall, Wanda Sykes, they were great hosts. I don't know why Amy Schumer was there.
I don't know. Okay, let's talk about that. And I'm so glad we're leaving. I'm so glad we're talking about these things first because there. Now that you say that, I have thoughts. Who is Amy Schumer's audience? Why? How does she? Audience? Like, who says I'm going to spend my hard-earned money to go see Amy Schumer? Like, I don't understand how this woman is still making money. I'm very confused.
So I did watch Trainwreck and I Feel Pretty on $5 Tuesdays at the movie theater. I did laugh during Trainwreck, but I think Amy Schumer is just weird because I think she wants to be this like, oh, I'm here for the big girls. Like I'm not this skinny girl, whatever. But like she, I think she doesn't know who her audience is, so we are confused by who her audience is, and
Okay.
she's like not that funny, and she steals
Okay.
jokes from other comedians. So it's
Okay.
like, why are you famous? I don't understand you. And that's all
Yeah.
I'll say about Amy Schumer.
Okay.
I'm probably
Yeah.
she's probably problematic in other ways too. Like those are
For
just
sure.
some what I know of, and
um.
but but yeah, Regina Hall, Wanda Sykes, they did great. They were funny. Sure. I mean, like I enjoyed the bit where Wanda Sykes was going through like the movie museum or whatever the exhibits were, and she was like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, like all these TVs, you can just like go to Best Buy and get like one of these TVs." Like, ha ha ha. Like that was funny. Did
Okay.
you
Okay.
watch the Oscars or did you just
No,
like
I just watched
okay?
the highlights, but I made the face for you all who cannot see us. I made the face when she said Regina Hall because I did see the snippet of one of her jokes, and I didn't really care for it.
Oh,
When
what
she was
joke?
poking at, when she was like, "All the single men come up here," and one of the single men she listed was Will Smith, and I'm like, he's not
Ooh.
single. Y'all need to like.
Oh, I didn't hear that joke.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't. I
So
missed that.
yeah, but I love her as a person and as an
Mm-hmm.
actress. Not that I know her personally, but
Right.
I like her and her work.
Yeah. That's I did not know about that. Dang, they were the butts of everybody's jokes. They are tired of being the butts of everybody's jokes. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Okay, okay.
I'm trying to
You want to go to
think.
something else crazy that happened? Did you see the Tiffany Haddish situation?
At the after party?
It was like on the red carpet. Yeah. So after she
Yeah.
changed, yeah.
And
Okay.
someone was like, "Oh, like I see that you've done a little costume change." She's like, "Oh, this is not a costume. This is custom Dolce and Gabbana." And I was like, "You tell her." She's like, "This is what opulence looks like. This is what wealth looks like. This is what hard-earned work looks like." And I was like, "You better correct her."
Okay. Okay. Unpopular opinion about that. I feel like okay. So after the okay. So me okay. Maybe that's my like or my hey is okay. So after the reporter said what they said, when they said costume change, in my head I felt like it was just like a verbal blunder. I didn't take it as an original microaggression. I was just like, oh, costume change, wardrobe change, dress change or whatever. And then Tiffany started reading her and she apologized. She was like, time of death for me, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like once she said that, that's when Tiffany kept going in. But then it went from, let me make an awkward situation to a comedic situation. It went from that to let me get on you and read you. What are you wearing? You from Chicago? You don't have shoes on? What are you doing? Trying to make minimalize her work, which I did not like. And I didn't care for that part of it all.
I see what you're saying, but also from a Black woman perspective, I was just like, you know what? Just tell her. Just tell her how it is. This is how you're feeling. This is how you were impacted. That's how she received it.
Right.
And that was her reaction.
You're right. You can't control how anyone reacts. I also distinctively remember Tiffany Haddish showing up to other red carpet with chicken in her purse and going around and bragging about that. So it's like, if it was, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, which one is it? Are we fancy Dolce & Gabbana, or are we look at me with a fried chicken in my purse? Like, and you can be both. You can be both.
She can be both.
You can be both. But don't give us that and try to read this woman for Phil. I just feel like, and you know what? You're right. How she received it is how she received it. But I am very adverse. Like I feel like my sensitivity level for microaggressions is like out of this world. Like, do I smell a microaggression? Like I feel, and I just didn't feel that. I feel like she made a mistake. She tried to catch it and apologize, and Tiffany was like, "Oh no, green light to tear you up." So
listen, I think emotions were high from everything that happened before. So everyone's heated. Maybe people were hungry. The popcorn that they had during commercial breaks wasn't enough. I can't speak to how she was feeling. I'm just saying I can't say how I would react in that moment. But
okay.
I felt for Tiffany, and I also felt for that reporter too, because because it's embarrassing. Oh my god, because in that moment, I'm thinking, oh my god, what did I just do? Why did I just say that? Why didn't I just say what are you wearing?
Right, which would have been more appropriate, and it's typically what people say. What are you wearing? Who are you wearing? Who styled you tonight? So it was a blunder for sure.
Yeah, because the tone to a little costume change, what's this little number that you're wearing? I don't know what it is. It felt kind of demeaning in a way, even though she probably didn't mean it that way.
I can see how it could be received that way, but again, I feel like after a certain point, we get it. You joked enough about it, but then you started attacking her, and I'm like, don't agree with that. But how you feel is how you feel,
right? I thought Zendaya looked beautiful, stunning, amazing, iconic, gorgeous.
Iconic.
I'm can you do anything wrong?
No, she can't.
You have a bad dressing day. I don't think you do.
She can't do anything wrong in my eyes. Someone could be like, Zendaya came here. I don't know. They can say whatever egregious thing they want to say about Zendaya, and I'd be like,
when I think Zendaya, I think beautiful gowns, gorgeous gowns, beautiful suits, gorgeous suits.
It's iconic. That's how I feel about Zendaya. Iconic. She is the moment. She wears so many hats and has so many different versatility. Yeah. And I'm just like, and you came out of Disney without a problem. Hello? You doing the dang thing. You doing it. And doing it well.
Doing it well. Was LL Cool J there? I mean, I don't know why he would be there, but
a grid of audience reactions. So I'm not sure if he was
not the grid of audience reactions. Okay, so the grid of audience reactions. I was were all these people really there? I thought this was old screenshots from past
put together, right?
Yeah,
that's what I thought. But then
apparently it was not, and I was like, oh, yeah, all right, okay,
yeah.
I can't think of any other positive because everything was just so. Odd.
Questlove and Samuel Jackson received
Oh my
Oscars for their
goodness.
work.
Yes, yes.
I saw you
I
posted
mean,
about that. You were the first person I saw to post about that. I was like, oh, Questlove got an Oscar.
okay. Yeah. So like he got an Oscar for his documentary,
Mhm.
and like when because like the incident happened while they
Mhm.
were presenting for like best documentary. So like I was reading an article where they had like spoken to, it was because he's the frontman of the Roots,
Uh-huh.
and like Jimmy Fallon was asking him, like not interviewing him, but he was just like asking him like oh like what went down. He's like, I wasn't like present in that moment. Like he didn't really like pay attention to like what went down between Will and Chris. Like
Okay.
he was just like soaking in the moment of him being nominated. So like
Right.
he was just like, I guess like, like I mean, I've never been nominated for an Oscar before, but I imagine it's kind of a big deal. And
Right.
if I were like at the Dolby Theater, like, and they're about to announce like the winner of this and about to present the nominees, I'd be like, oh my God, okay, this is
Right.
happening. Like, do I like I gotta practice like my shocked face? Do I practice
Right.
my like gracious loser face? I mean,
Right.
so many thoughts are like swirling through your head. And I've been in situations where like X amount of thoughts are swirling through your head like all at one time.
Yes.
So like I can only imagine what he was going through. So like when he's like on the stage and he's just like speechless, like yeah, I would be speechless too because like there was a lot that just happened. And
Right.
then when he's like finally he basically like blacked out and just like
Mhm.
came to like while he was like on the stage like getting his award and making his speech.
Mhm.
So like as the audience members, we're like, oh, this like his moment is getting kind of overshadowed. I mean, it was overshadowed by like the incident, but
Yes.
like to him, he's just like, I am so flustered because like I'm just now like coming to and like realizing that I'm an Oscar winner, and like that's why he was like, I'm gonna thank everybody properly like on Instagram or something like that. That's what he said in his speech. But
Okay.
I was like, he put in a lot of work with that documentary. Like, I remember seeing like, um, as I follow him on Instagram, he's just like very passionate and a
Mhm.
very like genuine person. So for Amir to win that Oscar, I was very, very proud. And there are
Nice.
lots of people that are proud of him.
Mhm.
So yeah, that
Okay.
was a positive thing.
Yeah. That was a
All right, let's
problem.
get into the juice.
Let's get into the juice. So, as you all know by now, if you do not live under a rock with Patrick, um, Chris Rock got on the Oscar stage. He was doing his little bits as a comedian. He singled out Jada Pinkett Smith and made a joke about her being in G.I. Jane 2 because she currently doesn't have any hair. Semicolon, however, comma, she has alopecia, which is a medical condition where you can lose your hair or you can go bald or have spotting or different kind of things which happen in without people who have alopecia. So as Chris Rock said the joke, Jada looked uncomfortable, did not look okay with it. Will Smith originally was laughing, and then the camera cut away from him. Chris Rock continues to present. Will Smith is approaching him. Chris Rock's trying to figure out what's going on. Will Smith takes his stance, pulls his hand back, knocks the sonic rings out of Chris Rock's face.
Not
Chris
the
Rock,
Sonic ring.
Chris Rock says, wow, wow, Will Smith just smacked the SHIT out of me. Will Smith fixes his jacket, walks back to his seat. Nothing happens besides the crowd gasping and laughing as if they
Because
think it's a bit, you know? They seem
everybody
like
was so confused.
yeah, they thought it was a bit. They thought it was not real. And then Will Smith yells from the crowd, "Keep my wife's name out your effing mouth." And Chris Rock
He
says it
said
was
that
a
twice.
joke. Yes, he said it was a joke. It was G.I. Jane joke. He said, "Keep my wife's name out your effing mouth." And so then for those of you all who are listening, I need you to go and watch the YouTube video because one, we want supporters there, and two, you guys see my face. So then Lupita is in the back, like,
Lupita was stunning in her Lancome beat was all of us. Okay. I was like, let me get my Tanti doll. Let me put my Adele lash on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was all of us. I felt that.
Yeah.
She was stunning.
Yeah. I'm
She
gonna
was
wrap it up so we
shocked
can get to
and
it.
stunned.
She was shocked and stunned, but she also didn't react too much, right? She wasn't like, whoa. She wasn't like, she was just like the
Yeah.
right amount of perfect, like
No, she was
astonishing.
beauty. She was grace. It
Right.
was
She was all those things. So basically, the show goes on. Um, Will Smith doesn't get tackled. Chris Rock continues on presenting. Eventually, Will Smith, during commercial break, is consoled by Tyler Perry and Denzel Washington. Denzel, you guys, not Denzel. Denzel. Denzel Washington, just like his father before him. Consoled by those two. And then he goes on to win the Oscar. Camille, Cammy. He goes on to win the Oscar for King Richard. He gets on stage. He's like, I'm not crying because of the incident, but it's really emotional to me. He's like, I apologize to the Academy. I apologize to my King Richard family. I thank the Academy. Hopefully, you guys invite me back next week. He goes on to the after party, goes on to party Big Willie style. And at this point in time, as of present, he issued another apology publicly, social media and he included Chris Rock on here. So there's been a lot of hoopla, and that's my long-winded explanation of the situation.
You didn't even mention Diddy saying that we're gonna resolve this.
You know what?
At the gold party.
You know how I feel about that charlatan. So I don't even want to act like he exists. Because he said that he spoke with both of them, and all the reps came out and said nobody spoke with Diddy. So,
right.
Well, I don't even want to give that charlatan any kind of shine. Brother Love can stay under the rock where he belongs. That's what I feel about that. So, where do you want to start unpacking? Because we got a lot to unpack here, like a lot.
I kind of want to start with like the initial reaction. Like, was this a bit? Was this not? I knew that it was not a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
what told me that this was not a bit was Jada's eye roll. Her eye roll was so, I mean, it was sharp. I felt it like in my little couch in my little house, far away from LA. Like
Right.
I felt Jada's eye roll because like that was a I'm tired. I'm tired of being the butt of your joke. I'm tired of like people like shooting shots at me when I'm going through the serious thing. I just talked about the serious thing. Whether or not like he like knew about her alopecia or not, because like she did come out with the statement about like how she's dealing with it and how
several times.
Yeah, several times. And this is not the first time that Chris Rock has like thrown shots at Jada.
Correct.
So it's like it was like very much like leave me alone. And like I know a lot of people were saying like Will was like laughing like before, and I think it was a
nervous, brush it off kind
nervous laughter, like the cameras are on me, like that sort of thing. Like very like just keep smiling for the cameras. That's not funny. We're gonna talk about this later. Like that was how that came off to me.
Yes.
And then so like, and Tiffany had mentioned this like in like post comments, like in the like on the after party red carpets. But she was she went like because they asked her for a comment about like the incident, and she was like, I remember growing up in school like when Demi Moore was playing G.I. Jane, because like G.I. Jane had to like she cut her hair to like fit in with the other Navy SEALs. I've never seen G.I. Jane, by the way, but I do remember like when that movie came out. And like Tiffany was saying, like back in the day, like when boys would like call you like G.I. Jane, that was like a test of your that was like a challenge of your femininity. And like it was like a way to just like basically like call you a boy or like whatever. Yeah, so like I was like, I didn't know about that. Like
me either.
So like I mean, so there are lots of different levels to this for sure. But yeah, like that, going back to the eye roll, I was just like, I have made that eye roll. I have felt that eye roll. I have seen other people make that eye roll. She's just tired. Like, y'all got to leave this woman alone for real.
Okay.
So that's how I felt. That's when I knew like this was not a bit. This is like leave her alone. And then and like, you know, like Chris Rock and everything that he does, he has this like derpy like like just like it's like this fat Alberty like laugh where he's just like, I'm so funny, I'm dumb kind of laugh.
I can't.
Like even when the joke is not funny, he's still the only one laughing in the room.
Okay.
That's how like when that's just like kind of like part of his characteristic.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, where do I want to go next? So
I do
like
want to
let's get
say, I
go
was
ahead.
just going to say, I didn't realize it wasn't. So I realized when Chris Rock got hit that it wasn't a bit. That's when I realized. I was like, oh, this isn't a joke. And even people mentioned like, oh, well, he was like leaning forward and stuff. Like, and I was like, I think he didn't realize like, why is Will Smith coming on stage? Like, are you going to say something to me? Like, what's going on? And it's like, no, you're setting yourself up to get physically, attacked.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's when I realized when it happened. But go ahead.
So this is so dumb.
Uh-oh. What's dumb?
But there's this episode of The Hills, I think it's
Okay.
season 3, where Lauren and Whitney, they're like the interns at Teen Vogue, and they go to Good Morning America, and Whitney gets to try on like all the Oscar dresses. And Andre Leon Talley is like, "Oh my God, you're beautiful! Like, look at those legs, you're so tall."
Okay.
Anyway, there's this part like in the segment where Whitney falls down the stairs on live TV, and Lauren's like mouth just like drops. That was me watching the slap in real time. Like I saw it happen in slow motion, and I was live tweeting too, and I was like,
for you guys listening,
oh my God!
Wide open.
And like going back to the consoling Will during the commercial break with not Denzel and Tyler Perry. My friend
and there was another
like,
one too, Bradley Cooper jumped in there too.
Bradley Cooper, that's an interesting name.
Yeah, he was in there.
My friend tweeted, why is it always Tyler Perry? And I was like, yes, why is it always Tyler Perry? He's consoling Will, he's rescuing the royals. Like, why how does he always get in the mix?
Because Tyler Perry knows that he will have to pay for his sins. He knows he will have to pay for his sins eventually. So he's trying to be proactive and be like, oh, well, look, I did all these things, so give me some credit. He's preparing. He knows.
That is too funny. That's too funny. That is too funny. Not
he knows. Judgment Day is right around the corner. He was like, let me do everything I can to make sure my good place points are in the green.
Not good place points?
Yes. He is well aware.
Hang on. Got some technical difficulties.
Totally fine. I'll continue. Well, I'll let you continue because you're back. Technical difficulties done.
Because there have been a lot. There's been a lot of think pieces, a lot of debates.
Yes.
I'm trying to think where I want to go with this.
And are there multiple perspectives you want to share? Was there one perspective you saw and you were like, that's just egregious? Was there one thing you saw and you were like, I really resonate with this?
There's one perspective that I was like, okay, you are reaching and you are too white to be part of this conversation.
Let's talk about it.
There was one person that was like comparing Will Smith to Putin, and I was like,
oh my gosh. Reach.
Have several seats. Go away. This is not your conversation. This is an A and B conversation, so see your way out of it, okay?
You have to go to the tower for that spring.
And I was just like, I need to log off for the day, close the books, close the laptop, tuck myself into the bed. Good night. I was like, no, he's nowhere near Putin.
Nowhere.
And then there have been like a lot of people that have been like, I can't believe this man just assaulted this person on stage and then received an Oscar. And I'm like, okay, so where's this energy when black people are being killed by police, but then they aren't being fired or they're away on leave with pay?
Yep.
Like, where I need that same energy then. Like,
No,
what are you saying?
there are so many different perspectives, but specifically for those, I'm just like, if you come from a history of being rooted in white supremacy, or if we go back to the origins of this award show in particular and all the people who have received awards who have had
Mhm.
more egregious behaviors, like, I don't want to
Right.
hear anything you have to say.
Right, right. I was
Anything
like,
at all.
again, this is not your conversation.
Mhm.
Go away.
Go away.
Now, I think this is a moment where like multiple things can be true. You know
Yeah,
what I
for
mean?
sure.
Do I think Will should have slapped him? No. Um, did it feel good to slap him though? Yeah. Um, like, did Chris have it coming? Honestly, yes.
Yeah.
Like, it
It
is
is
what
what
it
it
is. Like,
is.
you gonna learn today? Like, it was just like one of those moments. Now, did he have to learn today on national TV and on an international scale? Who I don't know. Like,
To interject, he decided on national TV on an international scale to yet again go after his
true,
wife.
true, true. You
So
are right. You are right.
you have the
You better,
audience.
you better say those
You
words, Coco.
you
You
got the
better say
audience.
those
You're
words.
not the only one who can have an audience. So yeah, you decided to let it rip here again, not against me, another quote unquote man to man or comedian to comedian. You went after my wife, my family, who has said nothing against you.
Right. That's the other thing. There have been like a lot of people that are like, now you people that are like, Will better stand up for his woman and he better slap Chris Rock and like all this stuff. And they're they're like, well, I'm single, so maybe I should just like stay out of it and take notes. And I'm like, I mean, huh? Like, I'll I'll just say this. I remember back in the day when I
Uh-huh.
was in elementary school, I have an older sister. She has
Okay.
Down syndrome. I'm
Mm-hmm.
very, very protective of her.
Mm-hmm.
And like I mean, very protective. Like when we would I just remember when we would go to like the store and like people would just like stare at her because she looks different.
Mm-hmm.
I'd stare at them back like, what are you looking at? What are you looking
Right.
at? Um and I remember this one day, like we were waiting for my mom to like pick us up from school and like these boys were just like being like mean and making fun of her. So I bit one of them. I was like, "Yeah, I bit you, and I'll do it again."
Now do it again.
Because you're not gonna sit here in front of me, in
Yeah.
front of my sister, making fun of them. So like, yes, this is a very like minuscule and younger moment compared to what happened, but like I can also relate to it.
Right.
Now I'm not saying that people should go biting people and people should go slapping people, but like I when things have been building up and enough is enough, like
Mm-hmm.
your emotions get high
Mm-hmm.
and you react because you like I don't know, it's like the synapses in your brain are just like, we're gonna defend my woman today.
Uh-huh.
Because we're not gonna have dishonor on me, dishonor on my cow,
Right.
dishonor on my family. Like we're
Right.
not gonna have that.
Right.
So multiple things can be true.
It has always fascinated me. I'd say ever since I was younger and like started thinking logically, it has always fascinated me how people hearken upon the reaction of someone and not the initial action. It's like as soon as somebody reacts and it's either unpleasant to them or unexpected or out of character or in their real character or whatever, it's like reaction, reaction, you reacted this way, this was crazy, this is this. And I'm just like, it has
But like,
always
what did
interested
you
me.
do
I'm like, what did
to
you
get to
do?
that point?
What was the initial action? Because we like to forget about that. We like to phase against that. And I like to compare it to that. It's a biblical saying where it's like, all sin is wrong or all sin is sin. And again, there are different levels of wrong, different levels of the law, but I'm just like, lying, stealing, killing, cheating, it goes all under the same umbrella. So
Right.
it's always very interesting to me when people are like focusing on someone's reaction, and I'm like, y'all completely forgot what originally happened. And
Mm-hmm.
in my perspective, originally you were attacking her verbally, so I
Mm-hmm.
can't control how somebody reacts, whether he went up on the stage and said, I'm gonna see you backstage, and verbally like
Mm-hmm.
threatened you, or whether he went up on the stage and gave you 2 chickens and a biscuit. Like, I can't control what the reaction is, but what I need you to understand is that words have power and words have
Mm-hmm.
consequences, and that's something that you
Mm-hmm.
learned today. So
Mm-hmm.
everyone's like, it was an overreaction, and comedians, and First Amendment, and I'm just like, no,
First Amendment and take
no,
his Oscar away and
no,
like all this stuff, and I'm like, n-
no, no,
I did not. I was not in that camp of people. I was
right,
just like, y'all
right.
are doing a lot,
I
and you all need to have several seats.
Several seats, but I get it. There, the climate, people are really upset in general about when it comes to political climates and
Mm-hmm.
people's feelings, and when it comes to comedy specifically, because it's like
Mm-hmm.
comedians have to be careful what they say. You can't joke how you used to joke, and I'm like, yeah, that's right. You can't.
Right.
Mentalities have changed. We've gotten smarter. We've gotten more conscious. We've
We've
gotten
gotten
less
more
tolerant.
knowledgeable.
And so,
Yeah.
like, yeah, that means you have, if you can't adapt your comedy style to that of a human nature, or possibly more empathetic or understanding or mindful, then maybe you shouldn't be in comedy. And so
Right.
another conversation I saw floating around was like, he didn't know she had alopecia. And I said, I don't care. If you
Right.
didn't decide to do the research before, and not only on him, because these jokes have to be submitted before they go on the teleprompter and approved. So the
Yeah.
Academy also.
I heard allegedly that someone was like, "Don't do this joke," and he did it anyway.
Oh, see, I didn't even know there was a naysay. I just know that they have to be submitted because they have to go on the
Yeah.
teleprompter. So not only
Right.
Chris Rock, you should have known better. You should have done your research. Academy Awards,
Mm-hmm.
you should have done your
Mm-hmm.
research and known better.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So my thoughts are all over the place with this. There are some think pieces I'm like, yeah, I agree. There are other think pieces where I'm like, nah. Do I feel like do I want this staining or overshadowing anything that Will Smith has done or contributed throughout his lifetime? Of course not. I don't. Do I understand why
Right.
Will Smith got on that stage and did what he did? 100% I do.
Absolutely. Like it. Like it's unfortunate because, and it's also unfortunate that I even laughed at some of these. But like,
I want to laugh. I want to laugh too.
Black Twitter is just like
Oh yeah.
a real fun
Chaos.
place to be.
Chaos. Chaos mode. Black Twitter is
And like,
chaos mode.
like Black Twitter was like, man, we're like, Oscars is so white, and the Academy is like, and it's gonna stay so white. And I'm like, oh no. And like as I was watching like the incident go down and just like
Uh-huh.
reading tweets from Black Twitter, like all I could think about is the Negro moment
Uh-huh.
from the Boondocks. Like, if I don't know if you've
Yeah.
ever seen the Boondocks,
Of
yeah.
course.
But I'm just like, oh God, is
Dang.
this it? Like,
Dang.
no.
Dang.
Have you
Yeah.
ever been in a Negro moment before?
I feel like I have, but you don't consciously realize it while you're in it sometimes. And sometimes
Yeah.
maybe you do. You're just like, oh dang. But I feel like that when I do realize it, that's when I think I talked to you about this off the podcast. Those are those moments where I realize I'm like, I am not representing for every Black woman in
Yeah.
America. Let me take that pressure off of me and just be myself in this
And be
moment.
myself.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Have you
I've been
found
in
yourself in one of those?
I have.
Okay.
I have,
Uh-huh.
especially in my youth.
Uh-huh.
I've grown. I don't think I've been in those moments as like
An adult.
as an adult,
Mm-hmm.
like an adult. But It's definitely it crossed my mind, and I was just like, oh no, now I want to watch the Boondocks again.
Of course. It's like
Classic.
Boondocks and The Simpsons. Like half of me is like, is this predictive programming? The other half is like art imitates life. I'm like,
Yes,
you watch those two
yes,
shows, you're like,
yes.
this looks familiar.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
Um,
question.
yeah,
How do you feel about the potential consequence of them taking his Oscar away once they finish their
I,
review?
I think it would be bogus.
Okay, I agree.
I would, but I feel like the Academy will Academy, and I feel like you know what I mean when I say that.
Of course.
Um, I
Even
think
though
it
they
would be
haven't taken it away from plenty of other people who've been,
awards, accolades, whatever taken away, but you know when it
when you got that melanin magic,
when you've got
things
that
things a little
melanin
different.
magic,
Things apply a little different. You know
things
what?
are gonna be
Okay,
different.
you better sing it. Okay, let me get my stylist for you.
Not the stylist.
Let me get my stylist for you.
What were you gonna
I was
say?
gonna say James Carey, who, we're on a first name basis. James came
Not
out.
James.
He spoke with, I believe it was Gayle King, and usually I am 100% behind James, but I did not care for what he said. Did you happen to hear what he spoke about Gayle King with? So he came out. He said he was very disappointed in Will Smith. He said, he's done great things and stuff like that. He said, but if I was Chris Rock, I would have come out the next day and I would have sued him. Said I'm releasing a $200 million lawsuit because I got assaulted and that's not right. A B C D E F G. And I was just like, okay, there are multiple layers to this. I was like, one, you don't have that melanin magic, James, so I'm gonna need you to sit down. Two, I understand you're speaking as a comedian, but again, I feel like y'all hide behind that, where it's like, oh, I'm a comedian, so I can say whatever and there should be no consequence. And it's like, no. That time is over. That time is over. And I'm not saying it just means like it's a free for all for everybody to be like, oh, I don't like your joke. Now I can, put hands on you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you all need to be more mindful and you have to be more creative about things you say. You can't just hide
Right.
behind these titles that makes it seem like, oh, I'm in this position of power or untouchableness and I
Mm-hmm.
can just do anything without
Right.
consequence. It's like, no, there will be consequences. So
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't care for that. And typically I'm behind him, like, because he's been spitting like truth and breaking the fourth wall and all these things lately. But with that, I was just like, I don't agree.
James Carey?
Yeah,
Jim Carrey?
his real name is James.
Jim Carrey.
Yes, his real name is James.
Right, but like because you're saying that like he's been spitting like all these truths and like all these other things.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, I don't follow him, so I don't know.
No, trust me, and I don't either. But once he started like saying different truths and talking about things going on behind closed doors in the industry, that's when we stopped seeing him. He stopped being on red carpets. He stopped getting these interviews. He hasn't been in a whole lot of things. He's going to be in like the second Sonic the Hedgehog, but outside of that, haven't really seen him. So it's just like once he started, you know how it is. Once they start like either, I won't say they blackballed him, but it was kind of like, oh, he's speaking truth. Let's pan over here and see what Cardi B's doing. Let's see what Glenn Close is wearing. It's like, let's redirect and pivot away from you.
Is Glenn Close still like active as an actress?
I think they'd rather put the camera on an inactive actress than an active comedian speaking truths about the industry.
Okay.
Yo,
You know, that's interesting. I mean,
speaking of Glenn Close, did you ever watch Damages? The show Damages? Oh my
no.
goodness. Okay. That show had me like by my, I don't know, curly hair, whatever. What is it? The men say by the you know what? What do women say? That show had me by the what?
By the tits.
Sorry, that was a genuine reaction. That was a genuine surprise.
Sorry, should I have said by the nips?
I don't know that. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting you to say, but that just wasn't it. Okay. Okay. So Damages used to have me by the tatas. And when I looked at it again when I was older, I was like, this was bad cinematography. This plot was bad. Why was I so invested in this show? Oh yeah, I was just wondering if I was the only one.
No, I never saw it, so I can't comment.
That's okay. Don't waste your time.
Is there anything else that you want to add
Yes.
to the slap?
Yes.
Okay.
When I was, like I said, was going through my articles and think pieces, somebody reminded me that Chris Rock was the person behind Good Hair. And I was like, yeah, he was the person behind the documentary, the movie addressing Black women,
Yep.
specifically melanated women, and their
Yep.
journey, their struggles, their livelihood, and involved with their hair. And I was
Yep.
just like, so research aside, whether he knew Jada Pinkett Smith had alopecia or not, I was like, you have a proven history of
Yeah.
being involved with this topic. So
Yeah.
no passes from me, at least. Like, no, you get still passes from me.
Right, right. And like as I mean, I don't want to describe it as that. I'm a Black person that struggles with my hair. Like I have been through a journey, still am on a journey.
Mm-hmm.
And like I will find myself just like I will never forget. It
Okay.
was 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
I had never had my hair relaxed. I had just transferred to the
Oh,
middle school where we met.
what?
Um and my hair was still like natural. I'd never had like a relaxer or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
And this one girl one day she came because like I was sitting like kind of by myself at a table eating lunch,
Mm-hmm.
and she and her posse were like sitting like at the table with me, and she's like, "Oh, your mom must not love you because your hair is so nappy."
Whoa, whoa,
And
whoa,
I
whoa,
was
whoa,
like,
whoa, whoa. Right. Like, what do you say to that?
I was too stunned to speak. I didn't know what to say. And it's something that like I replay from time to
Mm-hmm.
time, especially when I'm having these like bad hair days
Yeah.
where I'm like, I don't know what to do with my hair right now. And I'm like, ugh. And that was when like I asked my mom, like, hey, can you perm my hair?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to like have nappy hair anymore. And it was like one of the worst mistakes that I ever made in my life
Yeah.
because I don't think my hair was meant for relaxers because like for like 2 years like I had with these like long pieces on the ends, but it was breaking off in the middle, and it was just
Mm.
like so bad. I never learned how to properly wrap my hair at night.
Oh,
I
dang.
didn't have like these cute silk presses that everybody else was having.
Right.
Like there's one beautiful tall goddess that was in our class. You might know her. I'm not gonna like blast her name on the
Okay.
pod right now.
Okay.
But like I remember that same day after I was told that my hair was nappy, I was just like, I want hair like hers. It's beautiful. Oh.
Oh.
Um yeah, and I just like even still because like I have like PCOS, like I have very thin hair, and it's like no matter what routine I do, that's another thing that I want to talk about, but let me finish this thought. No matter what routine that I've done, whatever natural curly girl routine I've done, the products, the this, the that, whatever, the co-washing, the you only wash your hair like with sulfates like once a month. I'm like, I don't know what actually works for my hair. Actually, I do. It's that Adjoa beauty stuff.
Okay.
It costs like a nice pretty penny, but it is worth it because like I haven't run out of it, and I bought some. When did I buy this stuff? Last summer? What?
Church finger. I have a little
Yes.
bit of a technical difficulty, so I need to disappear for 10 seconds.
Okay, Coco is disappearing for 10
10
seconds.
seconds. But Cammy will continue to keep you occupied. You guys can count down, but you have to do it by Mississippi's because they said if you do it in your head or out loud, you're not going to do it right. So you have to do Mississippi's.
Girl, just go.
No,
10,
no,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That wasn't Mississippi. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Break it on down.
yes. Yeah. Yes.
Hey, 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 hey. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Almost.
You better make me give you the Disney ears. Okay.
Hi, I'm Coco. You're listening to Two Peaches with a Pod, and you are watching Disney Channel.
We'll be right back.
Da 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 da. Yes. So like, and I currently have a friend that has the alopecia that Jada has, where like your brain, your body is just like, hair is evil, it's killing you, we got to get rid of it. And it's like, no, 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 no,
Right.
no. Like this is fine.
Right.
But and she recently just shaved all of her hair, and I know that like that was a struggle and that was very difficult for her. So like it's hitting home for me on so many different personal levels. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, but also, can we just like leave Black women out of your jokes, please?
Okay, so
And thank you.
that's another thing that I saw, and a lot of people were like, "No, y'all are stretching now, y'all are stretching." But I'm like, I don't like the performative protect Black women, but when it
Hmm.
applies, then like
When
yes,
it applies, yes.
in this case, it does apply. It's like
Hmm.
I don't. And again, I didn't hear all of his jokes, but it's like I don't recall any of his other jokes about other people's wives.
Hmm.
That were specifically about a medical condition. I know these are a lot of stipulations. What I'm just trying to say is like we talked about, he has a history of specifically picking on Jada. My other thing is that this is just what we see publicly. We don't know what's been going on behind the scenes. We don't know if there have been like backdoor conversations where it's like, yo, man, lay off my wife, lay off my family.
Right,
Like, we
right.
don't know. So people saying Will Smith is getting out of character, I'm like, this is Big Willie from Philly. Don't let this nice, I'm a good human thing persona fool you. You can still be a good human and get these hands. And I just feel like,
Hmm.
um, again, the whole, what's that saying? It's like, don't write a check that your mouth can't cash or something like that.
Oof.
Don't
Yeah.
write a check that your mouth can't cash. And
Right.
again, I'm not saying I'm propelling. I'm not saying I'm for violence. But again, I can understand. I can understand why Will Smith went on that
Yeah.
stage.
Right. And like I just think about like other, like I think about Monique and even like Tiffany Haddish and Oprah, who have always been like the butt of people's jokes because like
Mm-hmm.
they're going through something,
Mm-hmm.
and because of like a physical appearance as
Yes.
well. And I'm like, can we not?
You don't have any other source material. You don't have any other
Right.
creative things to think about. You don't have
Mhm.
any other things to joke about. It's just, oh, well, no, she just happens to be a woman. She just happens to be Black. She just happens to be a Black woman. And, that has nothing to
Mhm.
do with me using this person as a target. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah,
It's old, it's played out, it's annoying, like we need to stop doing it.
it's old and it's played out and it's annoying. Yeah. I just,
Mhm.
I, I feel like maybe in my 40s, like if I have time, I'm going to carve out like studying like reactions and human interactions. I think that's something I definitely want to do further down the line. But yeah, a lot of people were like, I won't say a lot of people. One of the think pieces, one of the articles I read was like, Will Smith did this on, like you said, a national level, in front of all these people, and it makes us look bad as a people. It makes us look violent, like he's physically attacking someone on this worldwide stage. And I said, Chris Rock attacked one of us on a worldwide
Yeah.
stage as well,
Yes,
and nobody
yes,
had a
yes.
problem with it until there was a reaction. So
Right.
again, I'm just like, if we're gonna keep the same energy, keep it all the way around across the board.
Keep it all the way around. Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
Keep it energy all the way around. I'm gonna have to tag her and be like, we reference you like almost every episode.
Because we love
Love you.
you.
Do you have anything else to add for this specific situation?
All I'm gonna say is, Jada, I hope you're doing okay, because like that was traumatic for you too.
For sure.
Like that was embarrassing for you on an international scale. Like, please, why are you why are you embarrassing me on international TV? I hope Will keeps his Oscar.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Amir. Chloe and Hallie, I don't know how y'all wear those dresses, because like if it were me, I'd be scared that my
Listen.
lips would be in the
Listen.
on camera. Like,
I'll be looking for
how
the
do you,
mesh or the panty line. I'm like, how are they
I
holding
was like, how do you wear this dress? I was like, what underwear do you? Is there a Skims for this?
Listen, because I have the underwear where it's like you see it on the front, you see it on the back, and then you have the line up top. And listen, though, when I say those are the sexiest underwear, I feel amazing in those. I went back and I bought 10 more pairs, same color, same style. I was like, I need this in case these
Okay,
go missing.
next episode, my little peach cobblers, Coco is gonna show us her undies. We're getting
only if you're subscribed on Patreon. Not for you regular YouTube viewers. Sorry, that's free content. You got to pay for that. We don't put that on the free content.
And for an extra charge, she will also send you pics of her feet.
By her, she means herself. Cammy will be doing the shows. I'll be showing the hoo-ha hoes.
The hoo-ha holes? That's what you said.
Hoo-ha hose holders.
Oh, God.
It's always a good time with this one, ladies and gents.
And that's it. That's all I have to add.
Okay. Would you like to tell the listeners and the watchers where they can find us?
Yes, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor. You can watch us on YouTube, and you can also watch us on Spotify and Anchor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why aren't you listening and watching us?
Listen.
You get to see our cute faces. I mean, mine's a little busted today, I'm not gonna lie. I got some hyperpigmentation and a dark spot and some scarring that a little like Bertha left behind. But I'm working it out, okay? Because we're trying to help clear skin in 2022.
Listen, my Chacne, high alert. It's on high alert this week.
Like, I have a leftover scar that looks like a mole, and I'm like, this is not even cute. And I can't believe I just showed all of y'all that. That is real gross.
I don't feel concerned for you because I feel like you have the knowledge and the products to like work on that. So that's why I don't feel like nervous at all for you. I'm like, she knows how to handle this.
Yeah.
She's prepared.
I try to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've got 3 weddings coming up, and I can't be looking busted and crusted.
Woo. 3 weddings is a lot. That's a lot.
It is.
Are you excited? I'm sure like your costume looks amazing.
Honey, it is not a costume. It's custom Dolce & Gabbana. And with that, we will see you next time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, friends.